Shedeur Sanders falls out of the first round of the NFL draft in 2025. And what do you think everyone's blaming the reason on? Racism. It's racist and racism and white people's racism for Shedeur Sanders slipping out of the first round of the NFL draft. Go figure. Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Well, let me give you some statistics. In the first round of the NFL draft, there's only 32 picks. And out of those 32 picks, 25 of those players were black last night. The other 6 were white, and then you had one Samoan player. So let me get this straight. Out of all the 25 picks of black players that were selected last night, none of those players wore gold chains. None of those players wear backwards hats. None of those players are extra confident. None of them? What's it going to be? Tell me. What's it going to be? So none of those players act similar to Shedeur? That's what you're going to tell me? Right. It's so pathetic that I even have to go over these stats, but that's where we're at in 2025. That's where we're at. No gold teeth. There was players with gold teeth in their mouth last night. There was players with gold chains, $20,000 suits on, full of confidence. But let me guess, the GMs, they hid their racism, right? They put their racism on timeout. They weren't racist towards any of these players last night. But when it came to Shedeur, they took their racism out of the closet, unpaused it, and said, I don't like Shedeur Sanders because he's black. No, they don't like Shedeur Sanders for a couple of reasons. And I would bet all the racists, the real racists that claim this garbage, like Congressman Jamal Bowman, racist Ryan Clark, woke ESPN, I will guarantee you, Stephen A. Smith, Marcus Spears, Louis Riddick, I would bet that none of these employees at ESPN watched the all 22 film of Shedeur Sanders one time. I would bet my life on it. Never even watched a full game of Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to get into all the stats with Shedeur Sanders. I'm here to talk about politics, not really sports. Shedeur Sanders' best record in college football was 9-4. Never attended a major bowl game in his entire life. And let's not talk about his interviews. There are GMs that said that Shedeur Sanders' interviews are the worst interviews that they've been to in all of the time doing interviews with players. And you want to know why? Because I guarantee he acted just like his dad, saying, I don't need y'all. I don't care what you think about me. And that's why his interviews bombed, because of that attitude. He thinks he's his dad. His dad can get away with that. His dad's making $30 million a year to coach Colorado football. He's got a gold Hall of Fame jacket. He's retired. He could say things like that. When you're trying to be the franchise quarterback of a team that's going to pay you big time money, that's not the proper attitude to have. So, of course, woke ESPN, racist Ryan Clark, the entire clown show will blame Shedeur Sanders for slipping in the draft on race, on gold chains, that they don't like Deion Sanders. Oh, let me guess. None of the 25 other black players that got drafted last night have fathers or family members who are directly involved with their sons that are kind of over the top, always getting involved with their son's future. That's what you want us to believe. See, ESPN created this narrative that Shedeur Sanders was a first-round draft pick. They created the narrative. All these names I just mentioned created the narrative that he was a first-round draft pick after multiple scouts said he's not a first-round draft pick at all. Multiple scouts who have been doing this for 30 or 40 years, who have given grades out to thousands of black NFL players, all of a sudden now they're racist and they're liars. See, they, meaning ESPN, Jamal Bowman, Marcus Spears, Louis Riddick, racist Ryan Clark, they knew what the scouts were saying, but they wanted to do Deion a favor. They wanted to do Shedeur a favor. They wanted to get him the bag. And nobody bought it. Nobody bought their lies. People spit it out. They weren't buying it. So now you're the problem. You're the racist. Oh, you didn't believe the fake narrative that we made up, so you're a racist. Oh, and you know what I loved about ESPN? And I'm a Steelers fan. You know what I loved about ESPN? They swore up and down. Molly Quirm, Miss Woke herself, she's always trying to say anti-white things to get street cred all the time. Miss Molly, all of them. Molly Quirm, Stephen A. Smith. Oh, when Shedeur gets to the Steelers, because Mike Tomlin is black, he will definitely take Shedeur Sanders. You know what Mike Tomlin said? No, thank you. You know what Mike Tomlin said? No, thank you. I'll take Derek Harmon. And the reason why they were saying that is because those liars, those clowns, always make it racial, and they thought that a black head coach would just go along with their garbage, and he declined. That's where we're at in 2025. And then wait, matters get even worse. Let me tell you, Deion Sanders, he comes out and he says, I don't want Shedeur to play for the Cleveland Browns. Now think about this. Only certain teams need quarterbacks. The Browns are on the clock. They might have needed Joe Flacco's old. They might have needed a quarterback. And guess what? They traded out of the pick, said F you, didn't take a quarterback. Do you think Deion's word? I don't think Shedeur was going in the first round no matter what. I didn't think that any quarterback was worth a first round pick. But let's just say hypothetically, they were going to take Shedeur. And because Deion opened his big, ungrateful mouth, they said, no, thank you. Then it gets better. Shedeur gets courted all week. They were going to make up their minds. The New York Giants were going to make up their minds whether they wanted Shedeur or Jackson Dart. The Giants take Jackson Dart. Now, I thought that Jackson, if I had to take a quarterback, I would take a SEC quarterback, regardless of who it was. Jalen Milroe, I don't care. And the reason why I would take those quarterbacks over any other quarterbacks is because in that division in college football, they see the most defenders that are headed to the NFL. So they see NFL players on a weekly basis on defenses. They're used to seeing NFL-type caliber players. They play better teams, Alabama, Georgia, the rest of the SEC. So if you're going to take a shitty quarterback, you might as well pick one that played against the best defenses. But that would mean you'd have to think for once. That would mean you couldn't be a racist and just make things black and white like woke ESPN and racist Ryan Clark and Jamal Bowman, the racist congressman from Saraville, New Jersey, the fake New Yorker. It's not even from New York City. He's a fraud. This is what happens. And let's just say, let's another hypothetical. Let's say the New York Giants were sitting in a room and it was a toss-up between Jackson Dart and Shedeur, and they had to take a quarterback. They had to take one. And it just got to the point where they're like, listen, I don't know who's better. They both kind of look exactly the same to me, other than one's black and one's white. And they probably said to themselves, well, which guy is going to be a less pain in the ass? Which guy is going to come in and just say, Deion and his son, before Shedeur's not even the starting quarterback of an NFL team. And he was putting it out there that he wanted to be treated like Tom Brady, where he would sit down with the coach and tell him what plays that he liked and what he wanted to do and the way the offense should be. You know when Tom Brady got that privilege? After he won his first Super Bowl from Bill Belichick. When he was a rookie and he was backing up Drew Bledsoe. When Big Ben was a rookie backing up Tommy Maddox. You think they walked into the locker room and said, I want to go to the coach's office and tell them the way the play should be. Are you effing kidding me? They would have told him, get the F out of the office now. It's just like, this is what happens when you play daddy football. See, and Deion is to blame for the majority of this because Deion never made either one of his kids have to compete for their jobs. So before the season even started, guess what? Shedeur and Shiloh, always the starters. And that attitude has carried over to the NFL, where they think they're hot shit. We should just be the starters just because we're the best. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to earn it. And then we don't go along with that narrative, you're a racist. I mean, the Deion camp, the Deion supporters, it's all boiling down to race. Has nothing. The tape doesn't lie. The tape, that's the greatest thing about football. The tape don't lie. Deion didn't do his kid any favors, trust me. There was 2 times where there was multiple teams that needed quarterbacks, but there was really 2 times where both teams were definitely taking a quarterback. And they said no thank you to Shedeur. And let's make this clear. Again, there's 32 spots in the first round of the NFL draft. 25 of those spots went to black players. Oh, let me guess. None of those black players wear their hats backwards, have gold chains, might have a gold tooth somewhere, don't wear expensive suits, don't have an overbearing parent. That's what you want us to believe. Just absolutely pathetic. Pathetic. More like Shedeur holds onto the ball too long, sways in and out of the pocket, doesn't work hard. Football doesn't seem like it's his main priority all the time. Thinks that he should be the starter without even fighting for the job or competing for the job. That he should just step into the building and everything should be his way. Goes to these interviews and tells them point blank, I don't care. I don't need y'all. Right. So let's listen to the clown Jamal Bowman say that Shedeur dropping out of the first round is white people shit. Let's listen to this clown.
Shedeur Sanders, because he talk a certain way and because he wears gold chains and his pops is Deion and he don't want to submit to y'all white shit, he's gonna slip in the draft. And you're telling me it's based on the evaluation. Like, you didn't watch the games and watch him play and see him play. Like,
you know what this idiot watched? He watched highlights. That's all they watch, meaning ESPN and them. All people, they just watch highlights. They don't watch game film, meaning watching the game from start to finish, play after play, and seeing what happened. And I would bet my life that racist Ryan Clark, Louis Riddick, this clown, Molly Quirm, racist Stephen A. Smith never once watched the all 22 film, play after play after play. They watched highlights of Shedeur. And of course, highlights are going to make you look good. Why do you think colleges tell high school kids, we don't want a highlight tape, we want a full game? See, I watched the BYU game, the whole thing. I watched the Oregon game, the whole thing. I watched the USC game, the whole thing. And when you watch it in all 22 film, you'll see why Shedeur wasn't a first-round draft pick. He should be about a 4th round draft pick, 3rd or 4th round draft pick. So this idiot claims it's because Deion didn't want to bow to white dominance, that he didn't want to be controlled by whiteys and the crackers that are trying to bring him down for wearing a gold chain and a backwards hat. Oh, let me guess. Those 25 other first-round picks that were picked in last night's draft, none of those black players wear gold chains, might have a gold tooth somewhere, wear expensive suits, are super confident, have an overbearing parent. No, none of them. Effing clown. Let me tell you a story about Jamal Bowman before I end it. I have firsthand knowledge of this moron. He's not a native New Yorker. He's from Saraville, New Jersey. He graduated from Saraville War Memorial High School in 1993. He had a white girlfriend named Tara Clinney. Blonde hair, white girlfriend. Used to beat her all the time. That girl's father and brother wanted to, him. He's a lying, woman-abusing piece of shit his entire life. And him being a racist is really no surprise. His nickname in high school, because he's always holier than thou, this clown. His nickname in high school was Preacher. You could look up the Sarajevo War Memorial yearbook in 1993. It's online. Jamal Bowman, Preacher. You know, because he's so righteous. He's a full of shit, woman beater, piece of garbage.